Hello everyone, my name is Dan Gavitt, and I'm the Senior Vice President of Basketball at the NCAA. On behalf of the NCAA Division I Men's Basketball Committee, I'd like to welcome you to our virtual mock selections. The NCAA Division I Men's Basketball Committee is comprised of the 12 individuals which collectively represent 12 individual conferences and universities. Their mission statement is to administer the national championship comprised of teams representing Division I institutions of higher education, to ensure the championship is played in a fair and equitably competitive environment that exemplifies and supports the game, monitoring and taking action as appropriate regarding issues affecting the NCAA Division I Men's Basketball Championship. Every year, the Men's Basketball Committee creates strategic priorities and tasks our men's basketball staff with putting these goals into action. One of the strategic priorities this year, which fell under the umbrella of aligning with key stakeholders, was to create a platform that provides our membership with a look into the selection process. This 4-week course is aimed to provide our membership with a high-level overview of the NCAA tournament selection process and will include 1. How the committee prepares with metrics, data, and conference reporting. 2. Selecting the teams. 3. Seeding the teams. And finally, 4. Bracketing the teams. As you will see, each step plays an integral role in helping to achieve the end goal of selecting, seeding, and bracketing 68 teams for the Men's Basketball Championship. We look forward to guiding you through this process, and we wish you nothing but health and success as you head into your upcoming season.
Hello and welcome to the first of our videos where we will show you how the selection process works for the Division I Men's Basketball Championship. Today, we will tell you about the conference monitoring program, the various metrics the committee has at its disposal, provide an overview of general principles that guide the process, how a school gets voted into the field as an at-large team, and how it gets enough support to be under consideration, and we'll tell you about the NCAA Evaluation Tool, or NET. Among the resources available to the committee are an extensive season-long evaluation of teams through watching games, conference monitoring calls and NABC regional advisory rankings, complete box scores and results, head-to-head results, results versus common opponents, imbalanced conference schedule and results, overall and non-conference strength of schedule, the quality of wins and losses, road record, player and coach availability, and various computer metrics. Each of the 12 committee members uses these various resources to form their own opinions, resulting in the committee's consensus position on team selection and seeding. Taking all of this information into consideration, the committee will discuss and vote upon the best 36 at-large teams in the country, which will join the 32 automatic qualifiers to form a 68-team field that will determine a national champion. Each of the 12 committee members, except for the chair, is responsible for monitoring 5 to 6 conferences during the course of the season, either in a primary or secondary role. In that capacity, the committee member is not working on that league's behalf during the selection process. The objective of the program is to share information learned from observing games involving teams in the league and from talking to conference personnel. This process ensures maximum relevant information is being shared among committee members in an organized and streamlined manner. It also affords conferences the opportunity to directly provide information for the committee's review and provides committee members with essential information throughout the season and in advance of the selection meeting. Subsequently, it is their responsibility to report to the full committee any pertinent data. This includes notable outcomes, the status of injured and unavailable players and coaches, important statistics and data points, and any intangible information deemed worthy of sharing. Aside from receiving information directly from the conferences, the primary and secondary conference monitors will schedule calls with league office personnel monthly, beginning about a month after the season starts, with the final one being shortly before the selections meeting in March. In addition to the discussions with the monitors, league officials are asked to provide a weekly form with current information for all teams the conference feels should be under consideration for tournament participation. In addition, the committee conducts 3 calls, one in mid-January, one in February during its annual selections orientation meeting, and one a week before Selection Sunday, where each member provides updates on schools from each league to his or her colleagues. The conference monitors include the most meaningful information and their observations about the teams from the leagues for which they serve as monitors, providing a more thorough evaluation of team strengths and weaknesses, along with information such as missing players or coaches due to injuries, illnesses, or suspensions, is key. The NABC appoints one head coach from each conference to serve on a regional advisory committee. These coaches vote on the top teams from their respective regions, and this information is submitted to the NCAA staff and shared with the committee. 3 private ballots are collected during the season, one in January, one in February, and the final one in March. This gives coaches the ability to have input into the process. The committee has used the net since the 2018-19 season. This contemporary metric is used to sort each school's team sheet, breaking down each opponent by net and placing them in an appropriate quadrant. The net's predictive element is the adjusted net efficiency, which uses a standard basketball efficiency rating for both offense and defense, but takes into account the quality of your opponent and the location of the game. The results-oriented factor in the net is the Team Value Index, which is an algorithm set up to reward teams who beat other good teams. Teams are rewarded or penalized based on the quality of the opponent, the location of the game, and the outcome. In today's world of advanced sports analytics, much attention is given to what the committee has access to and how they use this data. While the net gets the most attention because it is the NCAA's metric, the committee spends considerable time discussing other predictive metrics such as KenPom, Sagarin, and BPI, as well as results-based metrics such as KPI and strength of record. Granted, when the committee is looking at a team sheet, a school's opponents are sorted by their net, and thus when people reference top 50 wins, or quadrant 1 and 2 wins, or quadrant 4 losses, these references are being made about the net ranking of each school's opponents. Still, it's important to note the committee uses many metrics to assist in its evaluation of teams. It's also important to note that the metrics are just one part of the evaluation process. All of the information we've discussed is included as part of the extensive season-long evaluation of teams. In addition to reviewing this data, committee members spend countless hours watching games involving teams from across the country. Whether in person, on television, or streaming, committee members have the ability to watch every team in the country. It's noteworthy that being ranked in a certain position among the net does not guarantee a team will or will not get an at-large invitation to the tournament, as the net is just one part of the evaluation process. Games played against non-Division I opponents do count in NCAA statistics and records, but do not count in the net. A team sheet provides a real-time snapshot of a school's season to date. Games sorted on the left side of the team sheet are indicative of a strong schedule, while games populated on the right side indicate games against teams with lower net rankings. The location of the game factors into the quadrant placement. For example, a game against the 55th ranked team in the net counts as a quadrant 1 contest if it was played on the road. However, it is a quadrant 2 game if it was played on a neutral court or at home. Each team's net and the net of their opponents can change each day, whether a team won, lost, or did not play. Other metrics such as KenPom, Sagarin, BPI, KPI, and strength of record are updated daily as well. Having access to multiple metrics allows the committee to see what teams are outliers in each of these ratings. This is a team sheet that the committee can access at any point during the season. Aside from the net, the committee has daily access to these metrics. The KPI and strength of record metrics are primarily used to measure a team's resume, while the BPI, KenPom, and Sagarin ratings are predictive metrics the committee has at its disposal. Generally speaking, predictive metrics measure teams on how good they are, while results-based metrics gauge how good their resume is. The results-based component of the net is the Team Value Index, which is based on wins and losses while factoring in the opponent and location of the game. The predictive component of the net is Adjusted Net Efficiency, which uses a standard efficiency rating for offense and defense, but adjusts for the location of the game and quality of the opponent. The following are general policies the committee must abide by during the selection process. The committee selects the 36 best teams that aren't automatic qualifiers for their conference to fill the at-large berths. There is no limit on the number of at-large teams the committee may select from one conference. A committee member shall not be present during any discussion regarding the selection or seeding of a team the individual represents as an athletics director or commissioner. And at no point in the process shall a member vote for a team that individual represents. At no point in the process shall a member vote for a team in which an immediate family member is a student athlete on the men's basketball team, is a member of the men's basketball coaching staff, or is a senior athletics administrator at that institution. A member is permitted to answer only factual questions about teams in the conference the individual represents. All votes will be by secret ballot. As we draw near the conclusion of this video, we want to set the table for the next videos, in which we will dive into detail about the selection, seeding, and bracketing process. The 3 phases of this process are to select the best 36 at-large teams to join the 32 teams that earn the automatic qualifier into the championship, seed those teams in order from 1 to 68, and then bracket them using prescribed principles. The next video in our series will focus on the selection part of that process. Thank you for your time today.